Hi, it's Vladimir. Today is 21st day of my commitment. I'm talking to the camera 10-15 minutes every day, trying to improve my grammar, working on my pronunciation, and developing my English. Today my goal is to use perfect grammar, to control my thoughts, and talk about past. I want to share with you my technique which I use to practice grammar, which I use to improve my memory, which helps me to understand myself better, and which may be used to build self-talks, which is ultimately one of the technique that teaches you how to think in English. Yesterday I were talking about the technique which allows you to focus your attention on your actions. You use English, a foreign language, to control your attention. And simultaneously you study present tenses. I just want to repeat it and then we'll go to the technique which I'm going to talk about today. So, attention. You may study present tense by studying your actions. Every day you repeat certain actions and you learn the patterns which are most common in your daily routine. You wake up, you think, I have woken up. Then you go to the bathroom, you think, I need to go to the bathroom. I need to go to the bathroom is present simple. When you in the bathroom, you may think, I'm washing my face. It's present continuous. Then when you washed your face, you may think, I have washed my face. So you learn to build certain patterns which are constantly repeated in your daily routine. And the first thing is that you learn like the transition between the moment after you woken up to the moment when you are in the bathroom. It takes just maybe less than 1 minute, but in this minute you may think in English. You may build the whole transition in English, and as soon as you have built it, you may write down all, like, I have woken up. You don't need to memorize it. You just need to write it on the paper, put it close to your bed, and every day when you wake up, you just read it and I have woken up. Now I need to go to the bathroom. This is the first part. And then when you go to the bathroom, you may even say or repeat in your mind, I am going to the bathroom, or whatever. In the bathroom, again, you just look, you find all words which you need to translate your actions, and you build the structure, you build the sequence of different words, different actions. You learn to name them in English, and your attention is focused on your actions. So instead of thinking about something what happened yesterday in your native language, or about something that you need to do this day, you're thinking about what you're doing, and you learn to apply all tenses to describe your actions in your mind. Today I'm going to talk about a similar technique. So, and this is very important, because this first technique, it teaches you how to pay attention to what's going on. So it improves your attention. The second technique, which I'm going to talk about today, is studying past, and it helps you improve your memory. So it's all about past. You don't memorize certain words. You don't learn certain ways of, you don't learn words, you don't learn structures. All you need to know is how to use past tenses. So in past tenses, verbs have this form, ed, or if it's an irregular verb, it has a different form from its main form. But it's not so important for you because you may use translator and it's gonna show you how it all works. You need to understand that usually when we study English from books or from like in school in some programs, they teach us programs. They teach us certain grammar structures and certain words which we must memorize. And the whole idea is memorize as many words as possible and memorize as many structures as possible. What I'm trying to teach you is thinking in English. There you don't care too much about grammar, about perfect way of saying certain words, and about memorization. You care about building something, about creating something, producing something by using your language. And you shouldn't care too much about the quality of what you produce. Now you may see, I uploaded more than 800 videos on YouTube. They have very low quality. I speak with mistakes. I do lots of silly things. But anyway, it helps me to study language. I study it 10 hours every day. And by studying, I mean I thinking in English all the time. Even though I started studying when I was almost 30. I never studied it in school. I never studied it in my early age. And now I may speak English as well as I may speak my native language. And that's because I'm thinking in English all the time and I'm practicing. But to get motivation, what's really important to learn to build something. It's not enough to consume information. As soon as you start building something, it gives you all necessary motivation. And you may start building from zero, from scratch. You don't need to build your personal history by using advanced grammar. Imagine that you're like a child. You just mumbling something and you learn how to do it better and better. And with time, it's gonna grow. But again, the idea, past, you don't memorize words. You remember some events which happened in your life. Every day, one event, one sentence. If you are a beginner, it's enough. If you're not a beginner, you might do it more. You might just invest 5-10 minutes and not just write one sentence about something what happened in the past, but you may write 5 sentences, or you may write, as many sentences as you will be able to write consistently every day. The more, the better. So, you remember just one event. For example, I may just give you an event, tell you about an event which happened in my life. When I was 4, I broke my leg. So if I know how to say it in English, if I already know all these words, I just write down this one sentence in a new book. Then next day, I write down something else. I write down something like, when I was 7, I broke my arm. So every day, here's a new sentence. And every day, I add a new sentence to the previous one. And if I don't know these words, let's suppose that I just started studying English and I don't know how to translate it, I don't know all these words, what I do? I write it in Russian, I translate it literally in Google Translation, then I put it in my notebook, and next day when I think about another event, I read what I wrote the day before. And next day, again, I read what I wrote in both days. And every day I just continue reading. So my personal story grows, and every day, since all these events happened with me, I don't need to translate every word to understand what I wrote. If I write one sentence, tomorrow I will be able to remember all these words because all of them related to my story. And every day I build a story. I don't memorize anything, but after 30 days, if I do it consistently, I have a story. In this story, there's 30 sentences. I understand them all because they all are related to my life. And I can tell you, if we are speaking English, something in English. Even though I may make lots of mistakes. I may not know language, but if I do just one exercise, 5-minute exercise every day, writing something what happened with me in the past, translating it in English, adding one event every day and reading the whole story, it takes 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes if you're just a beginner. But eventually at the end of the month, I will be able to remember at least like 50 words, and I will be able to tell you about something what happened with me when we communicate in English. And if I start learning any other language right now, for example Chinese, let's suppose I start learning Chinese, I may do the same, and after a month I will be able to say something in Chinese. Does it mean that I will know Chinese? Of course not. I probably will not understand anything what a person will tell me after I tell him or her about my experience, but it makes me engaged in the process. It makes me really curious about the whole idea of building the whole personal history. And the point is that there are countless events which you may use. You think, oh, in my life there wasn't anything interesting. I just, had an average life. I was born at a particular age. I, went to kindergarten, went to school, started working somewhere, got married, had children. Now I don't know what's going on. In reality, there are countless events. So you may think, first you may just count your events. Then, as soon as you exhausted this possibility, you may start remembering people with whom you were acquainted during your life. And everybody, if you're watching this video, you're probably a little bit social. You may, do lots of stuff with people, and you probably have, I don't know how many, but if I remember all people whom I met during my life, there will be thousands people, and every day I may just sit and think, okay, who was the first person whom I met in my life? Oh, probably it were my parents. I remember my parents from the age of 2 or 1 or whatever. And then I remember there was a friend, his name was whatever. Then there was another friend. And then you may remember all your friends, all people who, teachers in school or your peers, people in work. And just remembering all these events, probably every person has a certain event which relates to the moment when you interacted with that person. And again, after you remembered all people, you may remember something. Again, it's too complicated. It's never as soon as you start working with your memory, as soon as you learn how to put it in work, it will give you more and more information which you can use to improve your English. So all you need to do is just translating from your native language to English, and using this not just attention, the first technique which I mentioned. When you train your attention, what you do, you just focus on your actions in the present moment. About everything you do, you describe in English, and you learn to be fully immersed in the process, in action. You learn to shut down your native language and be present. When you use this technique, it's another way. You have time, you may relax, you may go walk somewhere, and let's remember one event, let's remember another, and you think about it, and you build sequences. You build sequences according to certain, maybe topics. Now, for example, I have a few minutes more. I'll just tell you how I do that, and it's so fascinating. I think it's not available for many of you since it's an advanced level. But the point is, I'm working on speaking. I have my speaking club, and every week we discussed different ideas there. Last week we discussed propaganda. Before we discussed power, psychology, whatever. And every time when I think about a topic, I try to, like since recently, I try to think as if the whole my life was intended to understand this topic. And if it's, let's say, propaganda, I try to structure my experience, my past, through this lens. So I'm trying to, okay, propaganda, what was the first thing in my life related to propaganda? And then, okay, it was probably when I started smoking. Well, it's one of the things. I started smoking, it was because of propaganda. And then I started doing these things, and it had a certain impact on my life, and then I just talk about it more and more and more. So studying English, studying thinking, studying this technique past. So instead of memorizing words, remember your experience, learn to translate it in English, and learn to build your personal history. That's all for today. See you next time, tomorrow, next 79 days. I'll go deeper into grammar, into studying English. So if you just watch it, if you enjoy it, subscribe to my channel, share this video with your friends, leave comments, and have fun. Try to do the same. This is the most powerful thing you may do if you want to study a language, and if you want to be able to speak and think and use this language for your life. That's all. Bye bye.